How y'all Molgax Lives? I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. I just died. And I died way over here. Where my bicycle now is, so I've got to go get my bicycle. And let me give you a pro tip because I am such a pro. Let me give you a pro tip about recording videos. This is a very important pro tip. When you are recording a video and the microphone you're using has a mute on it, don't record your video with the mute on. You don't get any sound. So yeah, I just recorded a video that I then had to delete because there was no sound. Oh. So what I did was I took my bike and I rode it out down here, over here. I rode it up here. I rode it across the snow. I went in this town up here. It was too cold. I started to come back where it was warm, and then I got killed trying to loot a bookstore. So we're gonna head back and get my bike, and probably finish looting that bookstore. And we can have the same conversation I already had. Let's do it in the reverse order, though. Strange news today. The game company ZeniMax got purchased by Microsoft. I don't know how to feel about that. ZeniMax owns Bethesda. Bethesda is one of my favorite video game companies, and it makes me nervous when my video game company gets purchased by another company, because I don't know what that new company is going to do to my video game series. Now, they haven't really done too much to Minecraft that I'm aware of in the versions that I play. So I don't know that too much has gone bad that way. So hopefully it's more like that than other ways that it could possibly go. But there's some big video game series. So one of the concerns is what's it going to be released on now that it's owned by Microsoft and Microsoft owns Xbox. So that worries me a little because I don't own an Xbox, and I just don't think in this day and age that I'm willing to purchase an Xbox to play a video game necessarily anymore. I don't wanna. And so I might just be done playing some of my favorite game series, which makes me a little sad. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think they'll still come on the PC, at least, right? Windows. The question, though, is it going to come to Steam? That's important. Because I almost exclusively play my games through Steam. That's important. I don't want to have to load up Windows Live or whatever it's called now. I want to just go on Steam, which I already have loaded probably. But yeah, so that was a weird thing that I wasn't expecting. What's super crazy is how much they paid for it. That was just insane to me. So just to give you a comparison, Marvel and Lucasfilms and all the stuff that goes with them were purchased by Disney for a total of 7.8, or no, were purchased for a total of $8 billion. And ZeniMax was purchased for $7.5 billion, apparently. That's a lot of money to spend on a game company, I think. I mean, sure, they've got some well-known IPs, but I don't know. That's massive to me. Um, but yeah, hopefully they don't screw up my access to it, or I'm not saying that Bethesda couldn't use a little kick in the pants maybe on their games, but yeah. So the other thing that I want to talk about is D&D, because you know how I like to talk about D&D. Uh, so they had new news on D&D. I didn't play D&D this week. My online game, I haven't updated it in a while. Nobody's responded to my last "What do you want to do now?" Um, so I don't know. They don't they don't talk. They don't talk to each other. They don't talk to me. So I don't know what's going on in their heads. So I don't know if they want to say anything. Maybe they don't want to say anything. Maybe they're just going to. Um, have I been in this place? This place has books. Have I been in here? Nope. Okay. This was the last. I went in one of these in the previous not episode, and I came in through here. And so since this has not been looted, let's go ahead and grab some books out of here, if we can. So yeah, so I didn't get to play no D&D this week. The other guy that we play with canceled last minute, of course, because that's how we got to cancel everything. And so yeah, I'm not sure what we're doing in our game, anyways. I'm oh, see, now the last time I was in here, those had books, or the last one of these that I was in, I mean. And well, we already got spears. This is a book I don't have yet. Arrow recovery. Not really using a bow. This one is power attacks, increased chance of knocking down your enemy. Nice, that's useful. AP robotic turret ammo is okay. Oh, see no books up here. So yeah. We're at a place in D&D where we're back home in our city now. We have left the dungeon. Um, just because of the way things work. We probably didn't need to leave the dungeon. We probably could have just worked our way back to the city. We left in fine standing with the city. But I want to go back to the main city because we are under a super large city, and I want to try and get my DM to let us buy some things. We have a lot of money from the previous things we've done, a lot of money in the game, and there's not been a whole lot of loot. And I was actually on the book today. No, I was on the not the book. I was on the internet. The book. That's not a book. Um, checking out what uh, what kind of loot is in the campaign we're playing, because I feel like there hasn't been much of anything so far, and we are on our way out of the fifth floor. Well, of like 23 floors, but the fifth floor of the dungeon, and I don't think I've gotten an item that my characters will use since we started this dungeon. And we worked through, I mean, healing potions, but you don't really use those that often. Or, I mean, you do, but not. You don't get enough of them to be viable as a way to heal. And most of the fights are not so much about, like, so it's like this. Just a quick example is my character uses a two-handed sword, and that two-handed sword does 2d6 damage, and so that's up to 12 damage. And then he gets to add, because it's a magic weapon, a +1 to the damage, and then it's a strength-based weapon, so he gets to add his strength modifier to the damage, and so that's another 5. And so just one attack from my character could possibly do. Uh, oh, nice. We'll get the bicycle on the way here and head over there. Um, and then if you crit, it's even more than that. But you know, I have the potential to do between 7 and 18 damage with a single attack if I hit and I don't crit. And then on top of that, I also have a thing where I can add 10 damage if I take a 5 penalty to my accuracy. And so you know, you roll the dice and then you subtract 5 from what you rolled and see if that hits the creature you're attacking. So I could potentially do between 17 and 28 damage, right? And so uh woohoo, I went up a level. We're gonna spend this point. Uh, Another point in brawler here. Quality 4 knuckles. 30% more damage. I think probably I'll do this. Probably is done. Can I make I think I don't have the recipe for it, right? The bladed is it not called bladed? I don't remember what those are called. And not everything shows up in here anyways. Knuckle, well, I guess knuckle wraps are on there. What are these called? Iron knuckles. Iron knuckles. What are the bladed ones called? I feel like they're just not on the list. You might have to do those in the workbench, and they might not show up until you're looking in the workbench, maybe? I don't know. So, so yeah, so that's a lot of damage. And a regular healing potion costs 50 gold, which is a lot of money. 50 gold is more than it would cost to rent a house for a month. Just to give you an idea. And it does 2d4 plus 2 healing. So my guy at a minimum does 7 damage. and a healing potion could potentially heal 10 damage. So they're not great. They are emergency things. They're like, woof, I've got 1 hit point left. I guess I'll chug a potion and hope I don't get hit harder than that. That kind of thing. They're, my teammate is unconscious, let me dump a potion down his throat. That kind of thing. Uh, oh, my bicycle. I forgot what I was doing. I need my bicycle. My bicycle's out front of this building because this is the bookstore. I died right up there in that room. And so anyway, so I was looking through the list, and it's just like all spell scrolls and healing potions. I'm just like, man, I like some magic items that do things, or I don't want another spell book. We get a lot of spell books, and I hate that. I don't understand. I don't understand the thought process in whoever writes these, that it's always like caster loot. You know how many times the reward is how many times the reward that you find in a chest are spell scrolls that nobody in your party can use. Can I stack those? No. I don't think I probably have much of anything that'll stack in my tiny little... I feel like that needs to be repaired, not... Alright. Now we can head over here and we'll get this. And then we'll head home with all the junk that I collected. So anyways, yeah, I was looking through the book, well, not the book. I keep saying the book. I did look in the book, but I just looked to see if it had a list of, like, magic items that were in the campaign. Because I was like, man, it kind of, like, we haven't found any, like, cool weapons or armor or anything like that. And a lot of times the books will have a list of, like, magic items that are found in the adventure, and it doesn't have one of those because it doesn't have really any cool items. It seems they're all just spell scrolls that nobody can use. I mean, that's not true. I think my bard can use them, um, but I don't really use a lot of spell scrolls, and so or like wand of detect secrets. Like we already have like a rogue whose job is to do that kind of thing. I don't need a wand to detect secrets, and it's only got a few charges. I'm not gonna cast it every time I move into a new section. And so yeah, it's pretty limited on the number of cool items that are in this campaign. That makes me a little sad. Uh, Stone arrows makes me sad too. Take that 7.62 ammo though. One of these days they'll get me a nice gun. So what I want to talk about with D&D, since our campaign didn't play this week and my online campaign is stalled out again, was they announced they're releasing 3 new books. But they didn't announce what they were about. 3 new books with... they're bringing back 3 old campaign settings over the next 2 years. Which is, look at that building, is like raised up out of the ground in a very weird way. Why are you not down with everybody else? What makes you think you're so special that you have to be up in the air? Look at this road. Nobody can drive on that road. That road goes straight up. I want to see the front of this before. Like, see, this one is also raised up a little bit, but it's just raised up a little bit. Uh, there's no, there's no reason. There's no reason. This place is now its own fortress. Why is it a box up off the ground? I need to come over here and make that my base. That's just too funny. Oh, you weren't supposed to touch me. I was riding by my bicycle. That was rude. So, yeah. So I was contemplating what campaign sittings they were going to do because they didn't announce which ones they were. They just said they were 3 old ones that haven't been used yet, basically. And I don't know a lot about previous campaign sittings, but I know there's one that I really want to happen, and that is Dark Sun. And I kind of feel like that's going to be one of the ones because of some of the stuff that's been added recently. I don't know everything about Dark Sun, not even close. I know a little bit about Dark Sun, and the little bit I know makes me want to play a campaign in Dark Sun. Because Dark Sun is very different than other campaign sittings in that it's a end of the world post-apocalyptic setting that is post-apocalyptic because of the millennia of magic-based wars that took place on the planet. And so, like, the sun is dying at this point, and magic has consumed, like, all the metal on the planet and mutated most of the people into other things. And so, even the races are treated differently in Dark Sun than they normally are. And it's a lot of, like, there's like a handful of cities left, and they're all each ruled over by like a sorcerer god king, and magic beyond them is like almost forbidden because magic has destroyed the world, and so magic users are hunted and killed, and um, the gods are all dead, I believe. So there's no like clerics, and there's no metal, so all the weapons and stuff have been redone with bone and wood, and have you know altered concepts based around the fact that there's no metal. They have like sand ships that sail across the world deserts because there's no more oceans or anything like that, and and then things like halflings. Halflings are cannibal primitive tribes that live in the forests. The few forests that remain, there's very little forest left. Like, we're talking just tiny scratches of forest here and there, uh, and and so the halflings kill and eat anybody who tries to enter their territories, kind of thing. So that seems like a cool concept to me, and I have never played a D&D game in Dark Sun, um, and I think it would be awesome to, uh, because I like the dark horror post-apocalyptic stuff, so it checks a lot of boxes for me. So I'm really hoping that's one of them because that seems different enough to me, that it would be we're bringing in a book from a campaign sitting that hasn't been looked at. And they've added in some of the things that occur in Dark Sun that I'm aware of, and they're adding in some of those in the next book that comes out in November. So I feel like they're getting prepared for bringing Dark Sun. Um, uh, a couple of them that I were mentioned as the most likely, I feel like are the least likely. At least I hope they're the least likely. Not because I have anything against them. I don't know a lot about them. Like I know next to nothing about Greyhawk. I read that it's like a standard fantasy setting, but low magic, which means there's some magic, but there's not a lot of magic in the setting, and it's mostly medieval Western Europe castles and knights and stuff like that. And so that seems less fun to me than something like Dark Sun, right? Which is like insane and way different. Because I mean, we already play in basically Western, uh, Western medieval fantasy in Faerun, which is the standard D&D setting right now. And so I would like to see something different than let's rehash what we've already got. Because if you want to play, I think there's some rules on like mass combat that's not in D&D Fifth Edition that I could see being added. I guess with a new book for Greyhawk, but I don't know. Because a lot of it's just lore, right? And so if they're not adding, I guess to me, I would just want new, right? And not let's add some lore where you can use the existing rules to to play this, but you're gonna get new lore. And I don't think they have a lot of those. Those are like adventure books, and not campaign settings. And uh, so hold on, it's hard to put this stuff in the boxes where they go. Uh, so then the other one that they said was, you know, people figured was the one they were going to go with, that I'm hoping they don't, not because I dislike it, but just because I feel it's too similar, is Dragonlance. Dragonlance is a campaign setting that is has been used in novels that I have read, and so I am a little bit familiar with Dragonlance. It's been years though, so I'm not as familiar with it as I could be, but it's been a long time since I read the Dragonlance novels. I remember liking them. I remember they had cool characters and stuff, but it's still just wizards and dragons and stuff like that. And we already have that. We already have that in Faerun, however you pronounce it. And so I'd like to see, you know, something a bit different from the new books that were announced, but not deliberately spelled out so that we know what's coming. All right, how are we looking through here? Oh, we got some parts here, and then you can have those because I don't want those. And then I want to know about weapons. I want to know about not the iron knuckles, but the is it steel? Steel spear, stone, tactical assault rifle, time charge, huh? 44 desert vulture. Box, 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 box. Box, 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 compound bow, compound crossbow. Double boom 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 grenade. Bullets, bullets, bullets. M60. Marksman rifle, robot Sledge. What? Interesting. SMG, shotgun, sniper rifle. Here they are, steel knuckles. They're steel knuckles. Okay. Steel. I don't have steel yet. So there's no making those. And I don't think I've got... Let me separate some of this out. So I've got a lot of motor tool parts. And we got some military armor. And we got some steel armor. And we got sledge parts. And we got steel tool parts. And then the rest of this is mods. So I don't need full auto. Chain is for clubs. Fuel tank, burst mod. We got an 8x scope. We got the bandolier mod, which is awesome. We got the weapon flashlight mod. So I'm not really sitting heavy on mods. So I could definitely use some more mods that are in my vein. You know what I need is potatoes. All right. Potato. I have one potato. One potato is not going to cut it, so I need to get some potato seeds. So I need to be on the lookout for potatoes as well. I assume that my standard... Well, I don't have the recipe on me. Can I look in here? Do you show it in here? You do. Like hobo stew, meat stew. I can't even make it yet. Master chef. Also a master chef. Master chef. Master chef. Steak and potatoes. Master chef. All right. All right. So let's see what you're telling me. I need to get master chef going. All right. Is that under here? No. What's chefing under? I would think it'd be under here. It's not, though. Okay, I'm blind. Where is the cooking? Oh, it's under strength? That doesn't seem like a strength thing. Steak and potato. Oh, no, this says steak and potatoes, meat stew, vegetable stew. Oh, Master Chef is the thing. Right, okay. So we go to Grandma. I can make meat stew. Short order cook lets me do hobo stew. Army cook lets me go to new things. I don't even know that. Turkey gravy on toast sounds disgusting. Tuna. I meant tuna gravy. Turkey gravy sounds fine. Because right now I'm making eggs. So yeah, so I'm not looking forward to necessarily Dragonlance, which is wizards and dragons and stuff like that, or Greyhawk, which to me is wizards and dragons and stuff like that. Dark Sun, hoping is one of the books because I really want that horror post-apocalyptic everybody's enslaved by evil wizard kings kind of thing. Um, and then I guess the other two that I thought would maybe be a good idea were uh, Planescape. I don't really know a lot about Planescape. Uh, what I do know is that it involves a city, I believe, called Sigil. And Sigil is like a gateway to many different worlds. And so there's a lot of different people trying to conquer all the different worlds. I think that's what Planescape is about. So I really don't know a lot about it beyond that. But that sounds like it could have some new and unique ideas that are currently not in 5th edition. And then the other one that I thought was probably likely was Spelljammer, which we definitely don't have Spelljammer quite in there yet. Spelljammer is all the realms are in their own shells that float in the ethereal sea, and Spelljammers are able to pilot basically flying. Oh, dang it, I thought he would go over that and not just fall into it, but he just fell into it. And pilot their ships, which are basically sailing ships that have a Spelljammer helm, which create a bubble of atmosphere around it and gravity and allow it to sail through the ethereal. So it's a bit. I mean, it's basically it's basically pirates in space, I guess. I feel so. So that one to me seems interesting. I've played a Spelljammer video game back in the day, but I've never played a campaign in Spelljammer. And then as I was reading through comments, somebody pointed out that we also don't really have Ravenloft yet, although we kind of do with the Curse of Strahd. And Ravenloft is their Victorian fantasy, like Dracula and Frankenstein and stuff like that. Kind of a feel to it. Wolfman, those would be a Ravenloft kind of sitting. Although I believe Minzo Baranzan is part of Ravenloft, so I'm not too certain on the Ravenloft thing. I've played games set in Ravenloft, video games, so I have been in a Ravenloft before, but it's not it's not something I'm exactly that familiar with, but it was pointed out that they have been mentioning Ravenloft stuff, and we already have Strahd, but they did mention several other characters who come from Ravenloft um, in some recent releases. So, but it'll be interesting. 3 new campaign settings that are from old editions. And I don't know why I'm carrying this around. So hopefully I remember to lower the microphone this time and get some actual sound with my recording, since I didn't manage it before. But with that, I am going to call it a day, and I'll probably start here and try out this school next time, since I'm looking for recipe books. So with that, be better than the small things, lean into the light, and I will talk to you later.